Good day. My name is Mary Clark Steele Brown. I was 42 years old when I made the march to California with the Mormon Battalion. I am sometimes known as Agnes. I think perhaps to distinguish me from Mary McCree Black Brown. So many common names in those days. Few people realize that our entire family were part of the battalion. This is my story. I was baptized in the Ohio River in 1832 by Mormon missionaries. I was recently widowed with 2 young boys at the time. I moved around a great deal due to the persecution of the saints. While living in Independence, our home was stoned for nights on end. We hid behind the chimney. We fled the city. And finally, we had a peaceful time in Nauvoo, where I married widower Edmund Brown, who had 2 sons of similar age to my boys. Edmund was an officer in the Nauvoo Legion. In 1846, mobbers drove us from this peaceful spot, and we made our way to Council Bluffs in July. We arrived one day, and my husband Edmund joined the battalion the next day. As I mentioned earlier, we traveled with a large family entourage. My husband and I traveled with Company E with my brother Joseph S. Clark. Edmund's son, William Walter, was in Company A with my sons George and Isaiah and 2 cousins, Joseph and Riley Clark, who were the sons of my brother Samuel. Edmund's son, Edmund Jr., served as an officer's servant. He was just 11 years old. I was proud to march with them. These were challenging times. Sometimes we marched 25 miles a day and camped without water, wood, or grass for our teams. One journal recorded, "The day was intensely hot. The next day, we happily saw a lake with mist rising from the water. It was far away. Next, it looked like a lake of clear water, but when we moved, it moved. It continued to move when we moved, and when we stopped, it stopped. It turned out to be a mirage, truly an aggravation when we were all so thirsty. Finally, we came to a stagnant pond, but the men had to drive buffalo out of it. The water was thick with buffalo urine, bugs, and rainwater. The soldiers rushed to it, laid down, and sucked and strained the water through their teeth to keep from swallowing the bugs. After that, we filled the canteens. Our company doctor wrote of these days, "Much wind and dust in such quantities as to produce almost suffocation. Some of our animals dropped dead, and others were left by the roadside to die. And what is left look miserable." Well, our family miraculously survived to view the beautiful blue Pacific. My husband and sons stayed on in California as volunteers until their enlistment was complete. One of my sons, Isaiah, was badly hurt in a farming accident, and he came to my home in San Diego to be cared for. I had cared for many boys and men during our long and arduous journey. I think God needed women as his ministering angels. When I died in 1873, 2 battalion members spoke at my funeral. They said I had given, and I quote, "kindness and motherly care towards the boys of the battalion in all the most trying scenes they were called to pass through." They further stated that I remained firm and confident, using an influence, an example of quiet, patient endurance that was felt and acknowledged by all. Truly, I was blessed to travel with the army of Israel.